What? Vas-y, c'est parti.
10, 9, ignition sequence start.
Hi there, this is Loretta Sternowski from Got Spouse Need House. Happy Wednesday, everyone. For those of you who don't know, Got Spouse Need House is a company that specializes in working with newlyweds and engaged couples to find them their dream home or sell their home and maybe move to a new one together. And when that happens, then we give them a credit of 10% of the realtor's commission when they close. So through the course of this before, we know that's an expensive position to go through. So while you're going through that, we are a resource for you for lots of different people like photographers and caterers. And today we have a very special guest, Jen, and she's got a very unique business. Can you tell us, Jen, a little bit who you are and what you do?
Sure. So I'm Jen Shirkani Bailey, and we have vintage cars that we rent for engagement shoots or weddings. We have a couple cars that we will do grand exits at the end of the night. So it's a kind of a throwback, old school way to have an interesting addition to your wedding or your engagement shoots.
So how did you come up with this idea? Were you guys car collectors before, or did you buy it, create the business just from scratch, or how did that come about?
Well, interestingly, so I have my own business. I've been in business for myself for 26 years, and I do corporate coaching, executive coaching, and keynote speaking and consulting. And my husband is a car guy, and he has fixed up old cars and restored them over the years. And when COVID hit, we weren't working, we weren't traveling. My, conference business was basically stopped completely. And I'm looking in the garage at two old cars. And then he found a friend who was selling an old Mercedes that was really in bad shape. And he said, well, while we got time, I'm going to fix this car up so you can have your own vintage car. And I had seen a photo car that was used, a prop car on the East Coast. And I looked at the Instagram and I thought, maybe he could fix up this little Benz for me and I'll rent the Benz as a way to help pay for this restoration and maybe the insurance on it. And so I put my little Instagram page together, Jenz Benz AZ, thinking, I would use it for photos once in a while. And I got just inundated with requests. And so then I said to my husband, any chance I could use your other cars once in a while for some of these pictures? And he wasn't really thrilled about it. He was like, well, okay, I guess once in a while. Well, it just took off. Like we ended up with 3 cars and rented them quite a bit. And so we thought, well, maybe we should go get some more. So then we went and bought 3 more vintage cars. So we have a total of 6 right now in our fleet. We had one additional one that we've sold. And we're kind of learning, what people want. In a lot of cases, the lighter color, the white is very popular. Convertibles are very popular. So it's helped us kind of learn what to invest in and then what people want.
So what kind of cars do you have in your fleet right now?
So we have three Mercedes. They're all 450 SL convertibles between the 70s and 80s. And then we have a 1964 and a half Mustang. So it's a first year Mustang black, kind of classic sedan. And then I have a 1964 red convertible GTO. And then a 65 cream white convertible Thunderbird.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
One of my first cars was a 1967 Mustang convertible blue.
Oh, nice. I wish I had a convertible Mustang, but some people like the classic kind of muscle car,
Yeah,
look.
of course. And why do you think that is? Like, like in relation to weddings, why do you think they want a classic car for their wedding?
Some people have said it reminds them of a car their parents had when they were young growing up. Some have grandparents that had a car like it. Some just like the idea of adding something different or unique to their photos. So there's different reasons why. And right now, I think it's just a little trendy as well. So people go to a wedding and they see that there's a classic getaway car there and they're like, oh, I want to do that for my wedding. So they see
it. Better than getting in your Kia and driving home.
Yeah, it adds a little something more interesting than, having to take a Turo home or a limo or drive yourself.
Yeah, of course. So how do they incorporate the car into the whole wedding day? What are some ways that they do that?
So in a lot of cases, we will bring the car early. We're based in Mesa, and because of the age of the cars, we don't drive terribly far. We don't have a truck and trailer. We drive the cars. They're all drivable. So we do limit how close we will go or how far we will go, depending on how you look at that. And then we will have certain venues that we will bring the car early. So it'll be parked out in front when it's still light out. And we have a just married sign oftentimes we'll put on it. And then most couples will come between the ceremony and reception. So during cocktail hour, a lot of places call it, they'll come out and do some couple photos. Sometimes we've had them like with their wedding party. Sometimes they'll have all the guys around the car or all the girls around the car. So they incorporate it in different ways, but generally in that little downtime when they're doing all the pictures is when they'll get it. And then at the end of the night, a lot of times we'll leave the car there so that when the wedding ends, they come out, and many brides and grooms do a bubble exit or a sparkler exit, and then they kind of run out to the waiting getaway car, and we chauffeur them as a drive away for pictures.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't use like cans tied behind cars, do they?
Every once in a while we get a request for that.
Okay, I thought that was like, you see movies all the time. Do they actually do that?
Do they actually do it? They sometimes do, yeah. And it just depends on the car. I have one, my Thunderbird doesn't have a traditional bumper on the back, so it's hard to find a place to actually connect cans to. But my other cars have more of a regular bumper that we've used with little, twine and cans on the back. It's pretty cute.
So which one of your cars is the most popular?
Our most popular car is the white Thunderbird. That one I rent the most. And then second is probably my little white Benz.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's considering this for their wedding, how early should they contact you to book a car?
Well, as you probably know, wedding season in Arizona starts in the fall and runs through the spring. Summers tend to be pretty slow. So right now, I actually have some bookings for 2026 for spring. So some book out pretty far, 9 months in advance. I try not to book more than a year ahead just because old cars are unpredictable, and I would, I need to make sure that they're in working order and all that. Yeah. So most though book, I would say 6 months out. And sometimes we get some very last minute ones where they had another car. Sometimes a family member has an old car that they're planning to use and it breaks down, or they had some extra money in the budget at the last minute and they were like, oh, it'd be so great to have a getaway car. Let's use that money for that. So I do get some last minute ones, and we try really hard to accommodate, especially if it's a couple that had a car planned and there was something that went wrong and they've already, made arrangements to have a car there. We try really hard to accommodate in those cases.
Makes sense. So do the photographers use the car like as part of their wedding photos?
Yeah, they do. Photographers are phenomenal in this valley, I have to say, just based on who I've interacted with around the country, who I've talked to. We've had a lot of photographers come in from out of state to take pictures with us, and they are fantastic. Some of the things the photographers have come up with is great. I would also, though, make sure that if you book a vintage car, let your photographer know that you did. I can't tell you how many times I've reached out to a photographer that I know to say, hey, we're going to see you at the wedding on Friday. And they say, I had no idea that you guys were coming. So be sure, if you're a bride listening to this, that your photographer knows, because it does change a little bit the order in which they take the pictures and where they take them and all that.
So on that note, is that sometimes avoided when there's a wedding planner involved that kind of coordinates everybody?
Generally, yes. If there's a wedding planner, they've already got the vendor list and they've coordinated with us on arrival time, departure time, location of where we're going to park the car. So it does help if there's a wedding planner in the middle.
So do you use some of the photos like for your advertising?
We do. Pictures sell pictures, I've learned over the years. So Instagram is where we only pretty much market on Instagram. We're listed on The Knot and Wedding Wire and on some Indian wedding websites, but primarily Instagram is where I've put all of our marketing. And I really just take pictures that are already posted on there that have our cars in them. Many times the photographers will send me gallery photos of the cars and give me permission to post there. Our couples send pictures over and ask if I can post there or give me permission to post there. So photos really are key for us.
Sure. Mm-hmm. And what is your favorite pose that you've seen with the car?
Oh, we've seen so many over the years. It's, the sunset hour, golden hour, is when most photographers like to shoot with the car. In some cases, blue hour. So after that, where we turn the headlights on. And so it's always cool to see the nighttime shots with the headlights and either them kind of silhouetted in the front with the lights shining on them or between them. We always love to get them in the car and maybe take pictures with them up top on the back. So there's all kinds of creative things that we've done with the cars.
And what's your most crazy kind of unexpected story? Do you have one? Unfortunately, we've had some drunk couples at the end of a wedding. I was going to say, I'm sure that's coming.
Yes. We try really hard to ensure that we're not going to be in that situation, especially if we have to drive them. We're not a traditional transportation company, so we don't do like long drives. We do the drive off for photos. And then if they need to go somewhere close by, we'll take them. But luckily no one's ever been sick in the back of our car. We've had a few close calls, which is just like, please don't get sick in my old car. We had one wedding that we were scheduled to drop the car off. And on the way, we literally pulled up to the front of the wedding site where the pictures were going to be taken. And we get out of the car and we have a flat tire. Oh. And that was our Thunderbird. And our Thunderbird has wire wheels, which has tubes in the tires. It's not a traditional situation. So it wasn't just a quick spare change, but they were coming out to do their picture. So we just kind of parked the car in a certain way and arranged it. And we warned the photographer, like, watch out the back tire. But the pictures turned out great. You had no idea that tire was flat based on the pictures. So in the time frame between the reception and the end of the night, we ended up calling AAA. We waited on site. They came out. They did a tire swap with us. We were able to swap it out and have the car ready to go for the end of the night. So that was one kind of heavy stress time.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they're old cars.
Yeah, of course.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, you bet. So when people are shopping for this experience, do they pay by the hour, or is it just a one-time fee, a package, or how do they pay?
Yeah, we do flat fee. So if it's a photo shoot, it's just a flat fee and it varies depending on which car they pick.
Okay.
And if we're staying here in Mesa, we deliver the car to the shoot location. We know some great locations now. So if somebody's looking for desert or mountain or palm trees or whatever, we know the areas now to advise them where to go. East Valley tends to be really good for sort of traditional Arizona looking
Uh-huh.
backgrounds. And so we bring the car, we charge a flat fee. We generally wait on site for 90 minutes. Sometimes we'll go 2 hours, but we try to make it really easy for them. So the car's there, it's ready. We move it around if they want to move it around a little bit for the shoot. If it's a wedding, then same thing. We charge a flat fee depending on how long they want the car on site and what they want to do with it. So.
Do you have your eyes set on a different car?
The car I probably get the request for the most that I don't have is, believe it or not, an old truck.
I knew it. I was going to say I see like you see it in the movies too, like an old
Yes.
truck. A lot of people, sort of a country wedding. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Old rusty truck. Not even a shiny, pretty truck, but just an old farm truck looking truck is what people have said they want. So we're always on the hunt for something like that. But we park our cars at our house. We are maxed out on parking space right now. So I told my husband, if we buy another car, we are going to have to get rid of one to do it.
Or
So
you
we'll
need a
see.
bigger house with a big.
Or I need to rent a big garage space somewhere. But that's a dream, right? That we have a shop somewhere. My husband
Yeah,
would love that.
of course.
Mhm.
Actually, that's funny because I grew up on a farm and we had an old truck like that
Yeah.
we painted blue, and it's just kind of a cool. Are you? Have you watched the series Netflix on the one called Bloodline?
Yes.
So the truck that's in there, that's kind of what people like, I
Oh,
think.
yes. Yes, exactly.
I'll
Yep.
keep my eyes peeled for you.
Yeah. Yeah. If you see me in the valley here, we're always looking.
Okay, and how do
Mhm.
people find you? For those watching, we're going to post Jen's information in the caption and everything. But in case you're
Mhm.
here writing down, you want to write it down, how do they find you?
Just go to Instagram and or Facebook and put in Jenz Benz AZ. We're also on TikTok. And you'll be able to find us. Even if you Google, I've had people now contact me because they just Googled vintage car Arizona
Sure.
and have found us that way too. There's not a whole lot of us in the valley.
Okay.
So luckily, we end up pretty high up on search results.
No, that's great. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, Jen. Stay
Thanks for
cool.
having
Wedding
me.
season's around the corner. Sooner than later, it'll be here.
It
So
will.
you can just chill out and you'll be there. Once again, everyone, this is Loretta Cernowski with Got Spouse Need House. We are your real estate team that will help you as you're going through the transition from single to newlywed or engaged. And when you're ready for that big move with the property, we will give you 10% credit on closing. We also have lenders and title companies that are participating and giving you lots of benefits. So give us a call, sign up on gotspouseneedhouse.com. We have a Facebook page as well, and Instagram, LinkedIn, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Thanks, Jen.
My pleasure.